Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I will be doing the end of the year teacher tag that was created by Darren Akaki Hauer, and I will leave his video linked down below. So there are 14 questions and I have my computer on the side, so I'm gonna be looking at that. So let's just get right to it. Question 1: what grade do you teach and how long have you taught that grade? So if you don't know, this was my first year teaching, and I'm a special education teacher at a middle school, and this year I ended up working with all the grades. My schedule changed twice, so for the school year I had 3 different schedules, and so I ended up working with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in all the subjects. Alright, question 2: what adjective best describes you as a teacher and why? Question number 2: what adjective best describes you and why? So I would say the adjective that best describes me is easygoing. That's a hyphenated word, so I'm gonna count that as an adjective. Just because things don't really upset me. Pretty chill, but still, you know, enforce the rules. Also, our LEA made awards for all of us in the special ed department, and mine was Thomas Edison, and I'll read you what it says. Thomas Edison was an American inventor who is known for creating the electric light bulb. The Thomas Edison Award is given to a teacher who lights up the room when he or she is teaching. This person always has a positive attitude and a sunny disposition. So I think easygoing fits me, and other people would probably say that too. Question 3: if your life as a teacher was made into a movie, what movie star would play you? I'm gonna pull a Fantasia and play myself in a movie. I can't think of anyone that could portray me in a movie. I've done some theater myself a little bit, so I think I could just play myself and get away with it. But if you could think of someone, let me know, because I couldn't think of anyone. Question 4: think of a lesson from this year that you're especially proud of. What made it so special? I think one lesson that I'm kind of proud of is with my 7th grade ELA students that I had. We did a lesson. It was about comparing different types of media, but it was based around the story of Abby Sunderland, who, if you don't know, she was a 16-year-old who wanted to break a world record of being the youngest person to sail solo around the world, but then her boat broke down in the middle of the ocean, so she had to be rescued. And yeah, so I actually ended up being observed doing one lesson that I did with that unit, and I think what made it special is just because the students were actively engaged, and I was able to do like different groups at the same time. So just having the students engaged and interested in a lesson is pretty special. Okay, question 5: tell us about a student that you'll likely remember forever. There have been some interesting personalities that I've come across this school year. There was one student who was a gen ed student, and I worked with him for like the first part of the year before my schedule changed. He was a 6th grader, and for some reason every single day he would stand next to me and be like, "I'm taller than you," because I'm pretty short, but it was like a constant thing almost every day. And yeah, I would never forget that. Even after I stopped teaching him, he would still come into my classroom. Question 6: at this point in the year, how do you feel about the teaching profession? Well, it is summer break for me. This is actually the 2nd week of my summer vacation, and right now I'm feeling pretty positive, even with all the crazy stuff that went on this school year, with my schedule changing and being a special ed teacher and having to deal with all the paperwork, and which can be stressful. But I feel like this year I did more than just survive, which you hear that a lot of times. People would say your first year you're just concerned with surviving, and I felt like I did a little more than that. So kind of excited for next year and things that I can improve Question 7, how do you keep your job fun and engaging no matter how long you've been teaching? Well, like I said before, this was my first year and every day was different just because of the students, and they just keep it fun and engaging because you never know what's going to come out of their mouths. So I'd say like every day someone made me laugh, but I think just showing enthusiasm for teaching and getting the students excited about learning, that keeps it fun and engaging to me. Question number 8, what has surprised you the most since the school year started? What surprised me the most? I don't know if anything has surprised me. Like, I was expecting it to be how it went pretty much, except for my scheduling changing that many times. I wasn't expecting that, but then some things happened where they really had no choice but to change my schedule. I guess what surprised me most was, as being a special ed teacher, you kind of, well, I thought that, you know, I would be able to see my students on my caseload like regularly, and a lot of them I didn't see at all, so it's really hard to do progress monitoring with a student that you never see. So I think that surprised me. This year they are going to try and change it so that we see our caseload at least during ILT, which is individual or increased learning time, and it's only about 30 minutes, but it's like every day, so that would help a lot. Question number 9, social media. Who are your favorite teacher tubers, teacher grammars, and teacher tweeters? All right, so YouTube, if you made any teaching related video, I probably watched it, so I'm not going to list like the most well-known people because I feel like you already know them, so there's no point in me renaming them, and everybody who's done this tag pretty much named the same people. So I'm gonna bring up maybe some people you're not aware of. So I like a Happy Teacher, a true story. That's a French teacher who teaches science. One Happy Teacher, W-A-N. I like her channel a lot. History with Tiffany. She wasn't teaching this year, but because she started a PhD program, but I watched like all of her videos, and she has some very informative videos about just history and books and different things like that. Miss Momo Loves Sci. Tom Gibson, I believe he's a middle school math and robotics teacher, and he has a series on classroom economy if that's something you're interested in doing. So those are some lesser known teacher tubers that I like to watch. Teacher grammars, I pretty much, if I watch them on YouTube regularly, then I probably follow them on Instagram as well. So there's not really anybody who stands out to me. Teacher tweeter, so I do have a Twitter account. I don't really tweet that much, but I do go and check to see what other people do. I don't think I follow any teacher, but one person I do want to mention is Sparky Sweets, who has a series on YouTube called Thug Notes, classic literature from an original gangster or something like that. And basically he just gives a summary and analysis of classic literature, but it's very engaging and funny, so you should check him out. Question 10, who would your dream teacher collaboration be with? I want to say, can I say Martha Stewart? Does that count? I mean, she's not a teacher in a traditional sense, but she does teach people how to do things, and I feel like I could get some good tips, just like making things or making things myself. I feel like that would be fun. So I'm gonna say Martha Stewart. Right, question number 11, what was the last thing you took a picture of? Show us. So I don't really keep pictures on my phone. Like, I normally delete them after I've uploaded them to Instagram, so I don't really know the actual last picture I took, but the most recent one that's still on my phone is of some juices that I ordered from Juice by Julie, because I was doing a 3-day juice cleanse. So So I just took a picture for the thumbnail of the video that I did about that. Number 12, sing the last song that you listened to. Alright, so I need to check my phone because I was listening to my Spotify playlist that I made myself, and it was Love is Like a Heat Wave by Martha Reeves. I'll just play a little bit of that because y'all don't need to hear me sing. Question 13, complete this sentence. If I weren't a teacher, I'd be a licensed clinical social worker. While I was still in the Army, I knew I was going to be getting out, but I wasn't 100% sure which way I was going to go. I either was going to go with the MSW or MAT, and I ended up choosing an MAT. I still think I might have a second career as a social worker, and licensed clinical social worker is different from like the typical social worker that works with CPS or DFACS. A licensed clinical social worker is more like a therapist. So my plan was to work for the VA basically and make some money. Alright, question 14, who is your teaching hero? Tell them one thing that you really appreciate about them. So my teaching hero is a professor that I had a couple of semesters ago. She was a part-time professor but a full-time teacher. She was a special ed teacher at an elementary school while being a part-time professor and while working on her doctorate degree. So yeah, and she also had a family, and she told us that one of her kids was a child with a disability. So one thing that I appreciate about her is that we got current information. She was still in the profession, because a lot of times the professors, they haven't worked in that field in a long time, so I feel like some of the things aren't as relevant, especially with education, because you know it changes so much. So I really like that we got a professor who is still in the field and can give us current relevant information. So that is the end of this tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.